Hello, hello. I'm popping in just a couple minutes before the actual time to start to make sure I'm good to go. How we doing? Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Hey there, Shauna. Thank you for coming. Good to see your face. And thank you to Jill.
Hey,
Hey, hey, how's your day?
good, good. I just finished a workout, so.
Right. Well, I like to hear that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, figured best time to finish up and listen to you. So.
Well, great. Well, thank you so much for making the time.
Yeah.
All right. Getting some messages here. We'll get started in just a second. Give them a few more minutes. This is going to be recorded, so I can send you the replay link after the fact. All right. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and start getting this party started because we've got a limited amount of time and I value y'all's time. So let me start by getting my screen shared with everybody. So let's see. Okay, can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And I'm probably going to keep it in this mode just because I want to be able to see where I'm going a little bit more than putting it full screen mode in front of me. But can y'all see the main screen? We're good to go. All right. Well, thank you and welcome to the session tonight on MoJoTiVatioN mind setting sessions that are up and coming. This is a free info share, and this is a new offering that I'm excited to talk to y'all about tonight. There's a good many of you that obviously are already connected to me in some way, shape, or form, but there's several that are newer to me. So I'm going to give a little bit of a introduction to myself, but I'm Amy Sutter, aka Sutter Girl. I am the divinely inspired vessel bringing MoJoTiVatioN into the world. And I do want to preface this meeting by saying this is a timed meeting. When 40 minutes are up, I'm trying to keep it to 30 so we have a little wiggle room. But when 40 minutes are up, this meeting will end. And having said that, we may not have time because there's so much I want to cover. We may not have time for Q&A during this session, but on this slide, you'll see my MoJoTiVatioN website. And if you have questions or want further insights, if you'll just take this website down and you can go to the website and click on the button that says schedule a free consultation, and we will address any additional questions or insights that you have. So here's moving forward. Here's what we're going to cover in today's session. I'm going to give you a little bit more about my background and my mind setting journey. I'm going to talk about what mind setting is and why we should focus on it. I'm going to go over the 7-step MoJoTiVatioN mind setting framework. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what's inside the upcoming group experience and how to join in the mix of that group experience, since it will have some limited spots available. So let's get into a little bit more about me. So meet your coach, Amy Sutter. I am a Clemson Tigress. Yes, I went to Clemson University for my undergrad, and I got my Bachelor of Science in Graphic Communications. So not enough room to type all that on the slide, but it wasn't BS. It was definitely a good degree, but it was a Bachelor of Science in Graphic Communications. Later on, as I was in my corporate career, I went back to school for my master's at Pratt Institute up in Manhattan. I had 24 years in corporate America in the printing industry, and the bulk of that was in printed food packaging. So no doubt you were purchasing items that I was a big part of every day when you go to the grocery store. But I had a tandem career going alongside that. So for 32 years, this is my 32nd year in the fitness industry. And during my fitness journey, one of my most exciting adventures in it was going from a true novice competitive bodybuilder all the way to a professional bodybuilder. That transition or journey from novice to pro took 9 years, but I competed 2 additional years at the professional level. So 11 consecutive years competing in bodybuilding. As I indicated just earlier, I am the divinely inspired vessel of MoJoTiVatioN. I'm also a rapper. I have rapped for friends, birthdays, and restaurants. I have rapped my corporate presentations, and I have taken that rapping experience and have been doing the weekly wrap up on Fridays since I think 2019. So if you want to catch me on a Friday, any of my social media, my YouTube channel, Facebook, some of y'all have no doubt caught some of those. I'm also a shared strength speaker. Typically, you hear people talk about being a motivational or inspirational speaker. I have leveled up my speaking game and am all about sharing strength gains. So that's why I'm calling myself a shared strength speaker, and I'm a mind setting coach. So that's a little bit more about me. But as far as mindset is concerned, well, let me get a few people who are waiting in the waiting room in. Hold on. Hello, y'all. Trying to manage this meeting and manage admitting all at the same time. All right. So I've gone through my introductions, and I'm going as to what my viewpoint is on mindset. As far as mindset is concerned, mindset is everything. Everything we do in life is tied to our mindset. And just from my life experience, I can have proof within my own life that if you change your mindset, the results will follow. And here I was talking about how I went to from true novice to an IFBB pro, and a quote that I've put out on social and different things, just a firm belief I have, is that total transformation, the next stronger version of self, requires proper fueling of the mind, the body, and the soul. But first and foremost, the mind, because wherever the mind is set, the body and the soul will follow it. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my journey, my life, and how I've been building my mindset. And I narrowed it down to kind of these 5 categories, and I'll talk a little bit more to each one. But the first way I've built my mindset is by embracing life adversities that have come my way throughout my time on this earth. I've also built my mindset through my silver lining seeking, or spin it to win it, positivity. I am just wired with a positive outlook from the get-go. But also I have drive plus determination plus dedication plus discipline, which equals basically a tenacious spirit, or builds tenacity. And I've utilized positive visual triggers to sustain my own motivation. And also, I've relied on shared strength. So let me go back and talk a little bit more to each of those. As far as my life goes, I'm not going to give my whole life story here. We don't have time for that. But I had faced a lot of adversity beginning at a young age in my life, as early as 2 years old. Had eye surgery at 2.5, rolled out of a big old bed, broke my collarbone, and ended up in the hospital at 2.5 as well. Faced a really challenging year when I was 11. My parents were in the midst of divorcing. On Thanksgiving, my uncle's horse bucked me off her, broke my arm, and just a couple weeks later, my father was tragically killed by a drunk driver. And that was probably the hardest year of all in my life, just because of all those things happening in such close proximity. It was a lot to take on, especially at such a young age. But when I've looked at my life from a collective perspective and looked at those adversities, I look back at that young age and facing those kind of situations and realize that that really was the beginning of building my foundation of having a more resilient mindset in navigating through those unfortunate set of circumstances. And it really helped me in later adversities that have come into my life. One of those more recent would be what brought me to the sport of bodybuilding. And that was facing a life-threatening illness after a trip to India. Right after I finished my master's, one of my classmates who was from India invited me to come visit she and her family. And I was like, hey, if you're not kidding, I'm coming. Happy graduation to me. Had a lovely time, but got back. And 2 weeks after returning to the States, started having crazy chills, fever, ended up in the hospital for 15 days, undergoing every single test imaginable, arrived at the hospital in kidney failure. It was no good. Was put on oxygen, and I was never formally diagnosed. I had a homeopathic doctor calling me. I had a doctor I'd met in India calling the hospital to tell me what to tell the doctors to test me for. It was not good. But I finally got released and began the rehabilitation or the recovery process, which is about a 2-year recovery process. And as I was going through that, I decided that I wanted to set a goal for myself to be able to celebrate the return of my stamina and rebuilding or regaining my fitness level, and celebrate it as a stronger comeback. And so I really wanted to run that New York City Marathon and did not get in through their lottery. So spun it to a totally different path, which was the sport of competitive bodybuilding. And I've always had an appreciation from an artist's perspective because it's like living sculpture. So that's how I got into the sport of bodybuilding. And when I started that journey, a year into it, at first I was just going to celebrate this stronger comeback, but I caught the fever for the sport. And I decided that I wanted to, really pursue it and set some bigger goals within that sport. And I decided I needed something to help me stay motivated on a daily basis. So I actually made a necklace that I'm wearing for myself. It's 3 silver charms that I happen to have in my jewelry box that I tied to a black leather cord. One's a cross that a friend of mine from Clemson who became a missionary gave me. The middle one is a Navajo symbol. It means the fire within. I got it from a tribe member out in Utah. And the third is a barbell that was part of my prize winnings that first season of competition back in 2010 when my lightweight self took out the heavyweight and took the overall win. So my message or mantra to myself was, you got to have strong faith in the fire within to build true inner strength. And that necklace became a conversation piece both in and out of the gym. And every time I shared that mantra that I just spoke to you, I was getting the same reply. You should do something with that. You really should do something with that. Inferring I should start a concept or, create other necklaces to help other people reach their goals. And I may be slow to take in a message sometimes, but after that happened countless times, I literally looked up and was like, okay, Lord, I hear you. I'm going to start something. So I called it my Mojo training necklace. Mojo to me is your natural born talents and strengths that you can never lose, but you can definitely hone and keep refining and getting stronger. And it was a source of motivation for me. So Mojo plus motivation, MoJoTiVatioN was the divine inspiration, did all the legal paperwork, and it's been a registered brand since 2011. So that's one of the positive visual triggers that I have been using and still continue to use. As far as shared strength, what I mean by that is I share the strengths from gaining my own experience and getting over adversity with others. But in the midst of them, I also look to gain strength or ask for others to share their strength with me to help me with my mindset and help me continue to be hopeful and continue to pursue the path forward. And so here's a picture of me when I turned pro, and like I was saying, the whole message of my positive visual trigger is you've got to have strong faith in the fire within to build true inner strength, that mindset that I'm talking about. So I've always been driven, always striving for the next stronger version of self, but I went through some courses that were helpful in letting me find my strengths. So in pursuit of finding my strengths, I actually came across a Gallup book called Now Find Your Strengths, and it puts you through a whole series of questions. And it was really a different approach. You probably have done personality tests. This was not a personality test. It really was more about your character traits and strengths in that regard. And one of the neat exercises they had you do in pursuit of finding your strengths was to ask people who you had known for some time in different capacities that you really admired and appreciated and respected their opinion, ask them to help you recognize your strengths. And the question posed to them were, hey, can you help me? What are my 3 strongest qualities, or my superpowers, if you will? And the results of this Gallup testing, the top 5, there were 28, and being an overachiever or high achiever, of course, I wanted to know all 28. So I went through the whole process, but you really focus on like the top 5. So my top 5 were empathy, positivity, belief, futuristic, and achiever. And what those were really interesting. It was cool because in the results, they told you who you would be best to collaborate with, who you could work with. And it was all about team building. So really building a strong team to put people with different strengths together to reach that strongest team possible. But what really blew me away was what the folks that I had reached out to and asked for their help, what they said. And here's a snapshot of some of the things that were said. You radiate positive energy that's contagious. You're real, authentic, sincere, and grounded. You have the kind of drive that doesn't quit. You're motivating, not just by words, but how you live. You listen, really listen, and then offer insights that shift perspective. You help people believe in themselves again. And those comments were beyond humbling. But it's not just about those people's words. And they aren't just compliments. They were really more confirmations that I'm walking the talk, and it solidifies what I've done, what I've overcome, and who I've become right in front of them that has brought those thoughts to light. And now I know that I can really bring value to other people and help them do the same thing, really help them build that resilient mindset, which is why I'm so excited to be bringing these mind setting sessions to life. But all that to say, your mindset matters. But let's talk more about mindset versus mindsetting. And this was also part of the inspiration of this idea of these sessions. when we talk about mindset, typically we talk about it as if it's one thing. But if mindset has to do with everything, it can't be just one thing, because every single thing we do in every different day, we're continuously changing our decisions, changing our thought processes. So mindset we can't talk about it or use it as a noun. It's really a verb or an action, which really we should be looking at it in terms of mindsetting, because we are constantly shifting and setting our mindset. So why focus on mind setting? Well, because your mind drives your momentum. Your thoughts shape your actions, and your actions shape your results. And mind setting is about developing a mind that is clear, empowered, strategic, and resilient. And even beyond resilient, as you continue to train it, getting to that point of tenacity that I was talking about earlier, so that you can get unstuck and start showing up fully in every area of your life. So what is the MoJoTiVatioN mind-setting process? Well, it's a 7-step strategic framework that helps to clear mental clutter, identify any internal blocks, create clarity, build that resilience, and bulletproof the mind, body, and soul connection. And 7 happens to be my number, 7/27/1970. That's when I was born. And it's really cool that the word mindset is 7 letters. And I've kind of utilized that because I love a good acronym. I know there's some of you out there who are like me, love that acronym. But I've made this acronym to framework the process in these 7 steps. So the M, master your mental space. I, identify your internal barriers. N, nurture self-awareness and resilience. D, define your direction with clarity. S, strategize and structure your mind-setting routine. E, elevate through consistent action. T, train your brain like a muscle. So I've put together this little graphic here, and I'm gonna, anybody that wants it, I can definitely send you a PDF file of it, but this is the 7-step mind-setting process. And since this is such a powerful thing, I like to kind of make it a little bit more superpower oriented, like we're talking about. So M, let's go back to that, master your mental space. Your thoughts are what shape your reality. And we need to make sure we're getting past the clutter and able to really foster that growth, because your mindset is your foundation. The I, and identify your internal barriers. We want to recognize any limiting beliefs and any self-doubt and past programming, things of the past that are holding us back. And awareness is that first step of transformation. So we need to develop strategies to shift your thinking toward empowerment and away from those things that are holding us back. N is to nurture that self-awareness and resilience. I always say to my clients, self-awareness is our greatest leverage. We know ourselves better than anybody else, although, like I said, it's good to get others' observations so you can see it from a different perspective. Sometimes we got the forest for the trees, but we really can utilize that self-awareness to help ourselves strengthen our mindset. So we want to build a strong connection with our own selves, and then strengthen that emotional intelligence, enhance our adaptability and the ability to bounce back from any setbacks. And again, talking back to that resiliency of the mind to create unstoppable momentum. The D, define your direction with clarity. And that's all about setting specific actionable goals that align with your vision. Having a clear roadmap is what's going to help us stay focused and keep moving forward with purpose, because clarity fuels confidence. The S, strategize and structure your mind-setting routine. Strengthening the mindset is a lot like training muscles in our body. It takes daily sets and reps. So we need to be implementing daily mental sets and reps to reinforce our positive mindsets and shift it positively. And we can use visualization, affirmations, just like I was talking about with my necklace. It's a positive visual trigger that helps me stay motivated. And it's affirming whatever my next goal, those steps toward it. And what's really cool, the science behind positive visual triggers is that once you've assigned, because you can assign meaning to anything. You can have a bracelet, you can have, an actual phrase or something that speaks to you as well, a verse. But what's really cool is even when we are not cognizantly focused on it, once we've already put that definition in our minds and applied it to whatever goal we're after, when our eyes just catch a glimpse of it, that just catching that glimpse, it's reaffirming that message to our brain subliminally, really. So it's just amping up that and training and strengthening our mindset to that next level. So E, elevate through consistent action. We've got to keep taking aligned, persistent steps toward the goals we're setting so we can break through any obstacles that come our way. I talked about adversity earlier because it ain't a matter of if, but when. Adversity or something is going to come and put up a little roadblock that you might have to detour around, but we've got to have that strong mindset of no matter what, we will stay unwavering and committed to getting to whatever goal we've set. Really embracing progress over perfection, knowing that even small progress is going to add up toward that bigger goal we're after. And consistency is the key to any transformation. And the final letter to wrap up mindset, train your mind like a muscle. Your mind is your greatest asset. You've got to strengthen it through repetition, practice, and challenges. And that's how we're going to get to that resilience. That's how we're going to continue to build confidence and gain growth on that daily mental training. Because a strong mind creates a strong life. It filters or tracks into everything we do. So what is different about this particular coaching program? Well, it's real coaching and it's not just motivation. We're going to meet in a setting similar to this, where you're in a Zoom room, and it's going to be limited to 7 participants so we can really take a deep dive and have high accountability and really, work as a team and help each other hone our mindsets. So it's mindset meets action. And each one that's participating, we're going to be tracking your progress along the way. So it's not just a class. This is a mind-setting experience. And the MoJoTiVatioN mind-setting sessions, I have got them slated to begin on May 5th. So the launch of the first group is on May 5th. So MoJoTiVatioN mind-setting sessions, are they for you? Well, here's some questions. Here, if you've got that question in your mind, here's some what if. So these are for you if you've got big dreams, you've got big goals that you start off strong pursuing, but you seem to lose steam after a week or two. Who can relate to that, right? Or you've got an inner critic that creeps up and has a loud voice and really great timing on that. This is for you if your life circumstances always derail you. The minute there's a hurdle, you just get off course and you can't seem to find your way back to the path and getting back towards that goal. This is for you if you want to stop starting over. And this is also for you if you're already driven, but really crave that next level mental edge to go from goal setter to goal crusher. And it's for you if you're ready to stop thinking about change and start creating it, realizing it, and bringing it to fruition. So mind setting, it impacts everything in our life, and our mindset is what drives our behavior, our attitude, our actions, whether we get to solutions or, whatever results we're looking for and the performance level we put toward it. It's all coming from our mindset. Oh, hello. That is not what I meant to do. Getting close on time here. So, and that's why mind setting is the game changer, because mind setting is a daily habit of training your mind to stay in the game. And it's how you stay motivated when life tries to knock you off track. And if you've ever said, I just need to get out of my own way, it's how you finally become the version of yourself you've been chasing. So, what is included in these mind setting sessions for you? It's a 12 weekly group coaching sessions. They're 1 hour each. You get one personal deep dive coaching call with me, and you get the 7-step mind setting process. That's what we'll be going through the course of those 3 months. It's an intimate group setting, like I said, a max of 7 participants. It's real-time support and accountability, and it's going to bring life-leveling transformation in that 3 months' time. So this is your investment versus the real value. Those 12 group coaching sessions, they've got a value of $1,200. The one-on-one strategy with me, a value of $250. The access to the mind setting process, a value of $497. The first access to these new coaching tools, right at $200, and that total value is $2,146. But if you join the first group, it's only going to be $697, and that's a savings of over $1,500 because you are a part of the founding group. But why the special rate? Well, because you are a part of the founding group, you're going to be helping me build, refine, fit the pieces together around this mind setting vision that I have, and elevate this experience with your participation, your feedback, and your energy. But this introductory investment is for this group only. But here is the deal. Since you registered and attended today for this free info share, I'm going to take another $100 off, and the first group is going to be $597 for the 3 months. So in essence, you basically got paid to attend this today. Got paid $100. But this is your invitation to step into your next level. Your mindset is your greatest investment. Let's strengthen it together. And if you are ready to take it to the next level, the next step is to schedule a call with me to secure your spot. There's my website. Again, for those of you who came on right at 6 p.m., I was talking about going to the website and hitting the button, schedule a free consultation. That's when I'll be able to address any questions, additional questions you may have about the mind setting sessions or any other insights you want to get from me, because we're about done with the time of this meeting and what it allows. But the enrollment is going to close Friday, May 3rd. So you've got until Friday, May 3rd to book your spot. And the mind setting sessions will begin the first week, that week of May 5th. And that's a Monday, May 5th. We'll determine amongst the group what the best day of the week is and availability, that kind of thing. But would love to have y'all join in this first founding group and help me to build and the mind setting sessions and help you level up and strengthen your most important muscle of all, your mental muscle, the willpower, and make you the most resilient version of yourself so you can achieve anything you set your mind to do. So thank you so much for being here tonight. I really appreciate your time. I'm not getting any indicator that it's okay. We've got about 6 minutes left. So if anybody has a question, I do have a little bit of time for questions. And you can unmute yourself and let me know. But I'll take a few moments to just thank people that I see. Thank you, Amanda, for coming. Thank you, Ellen, for coming. Carrie, appreciate you. Shauna, again, we chatted a little bit at the beginning. Thank you so much for being here. And I would love to have y'all join me in this new MoJoTiVatioN mission. And if there's not, do you have a question, Monica?
I was just saying I was here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see you.
I didn't have a question, but just a comment. So I just want to
Sure.
thank you, Amy. I think this is great. I have not been in contact with you lately, but I have just going through this exercise or one of the exercises during the program I went with you. I've been
Right.
able to achieve quite a few things where I was stuck, such as I finally secured a new role at work. Well, it's a new position.
Great.
It was a promotion. And I was able to pass my PMP certification. So,
I am so excited. Thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, we did see each other earlier this year, but you were still, I think, taking the test at that point.
yeah, I was still studying. I finally
Yeah.
passed. So, it did sink in, but I know that some of that was attributed to the mindset program that I went through with you. So,
Well, thank you so much. And that makes my heart full to know that what we were doing actually helped you get where you're trying to go, girl. That is so exciting. I mean, my whole rest of the year's made.
yeah, you should have been the first person I called, but I was so exhausted.
No, I understand. Well, congratulations. That is fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Kelly, thank you for joining. Um, we've got a few more minutes. If anybody else has any, feedback, I love the feedback on just the concept. I mean, Monica, I appreciate you giving me a positive feedback that you think it's a good, valid concept. But yeah, I mean, if anybody's got other comments they want to share, I'm all ears. So Monica, we got to have a follow-up call so I can. I'd love to hear more about your promotion because that was kind of a sticking point for a while there, right? Just trying to figure out
Yeah.
what the next step was going to even be. Not that you have to share it here,
Yeah.
but we'll have a side conversation on that because I'd like to hear the update on what the new role is and what it entails and
Mhm.
how that all came together.
Yes, I'm gonna find my document that I did with you too. I thought I had it printed out. I printed things out to kind of keep track of, what was on my list next. And yeah. So making
All
making progress.
right.
A lot of progress.
Yeah, that is more than just progress, girl. I mean, that's life goals. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, y'all. Well, I am going to let y'all have the rest of your evening. And thanks again for those of you who's tuned in and stayed tuned in. And like I said, go to the website, uh, click on that schedule a free consultation. Would love to chat with you more and have you join this founding group of MoJoTiVatioN mind setting sessions. Appreciate it. Talk to y'all later.
See you later.
All
Bye.
right. Bye bye.